Okay, greetings everyone. Welcome to Gerard Black in the Philippines with the Truth. I want to welcome you to my channel, all my subscribers, all my teachers, all my triggers, haters, lovers, subscribers, commenters, scallywags, each and every one of you. I want to welcome you to my channel. Teachers, how did I get to that? I know how. It got there because you know what? School started. And uh, yesterday was the first day of school for both of my boys. So both of them went to school, and it turned out that of course when they come home, I go through their schoolwork. The first one came, Raphael. He came in, and I told them this morning before he went to school, because both of them I had to say, okay, what's your plan to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can, pay attention, and don't forget. That is the motivation that they have each morning before they go to school. I want them to recite that. I want them to have that in their mind, and I want them to follow it. So Raphael came home from school first, and I have to say, I truly have to say that I miss tutoring them. If you can call it that, for those of you who want to talk about anything else about what I have the lack of. But anyway, it was nice. It was nice going over his day's work. We talked about music. Whenever you talk about music, you're talking about my heart. You talk about the music. We talked about the different genres in music, according to how the Filipino music, Filipino folk music, and how it was, influenced by the Spanish, U.S. and some of the others, and influences that it had, and also how it was culminated by tribes, and how they pretty much came up with their own sound, their own genre of music, which is most of the case when like folk music is. Folk music is virtually music from the folks. And we talk about ballet, and we talked about a variety of different music things, and of course we went over some words that he's reading and didn't know the meaning of, and of course we have to look them up, to tell him what was one word. We talked about influence. Yeah, it was influence because he read influence, but he didn't know what it meant. So I said, the best way I can kind of explain to him is by giving him examples. I said, you are the influence over your younger brother. In other words, your younger brother follows you, your things that you do. If you tell a lie, and then you influence your younger brother to tell a lie, and you don't want to do that. So, or he says, well, suppose if I cut myself, he has to cut himself. I said, no, that's not that's not the same type of influence. That's mostly, that's mostly an act of stupidity more than anything else. If I jump off a cliff, or he jump off a cliff, type of thing. But I tried to explain to him what influence is, and I think I did a good job. I can't remember the other examples I gave to him, but how things influence, because it was about music, how music is influenced by other cultures. And so we talked about that. And then we talked about texting. And and I had to stop him, because influence also came into about texting, because I was telling, look, see, I said today you don't have social kids skills. I said kids around your age, and the generation before you don't have social skills. A lot of you rely on texting. You rely on telling your message by texting your response to whatever it is that you want, rather than doing it face to face. It's a lot easier. It's a lot safer. But I had to tell him that texting is like a double-edged sword. I said, let me tell you this, Raphael. I said, try never to say anything mean in your texting to someone else. I said, one of the reasons being is that in your texting there is a record. There is a proof of you said something. Like if someone says to you, "Oh, Raphael, kiss my ass," hey, like this, in a text, I said, now you have a record of that. I said, so if anyone wants to deny it, you can always say, "See, this is your text. This is what you said." And the funny thing is that maybe a week from now, a month from now, or whatever, that person, you might be talking to a guy, you might say, "Yeah, I remember you told me to kiss your ass." So then again, you never say anything that someone would have a hard time forgetting you say it. So thereby, it is a lot better for you to say positive things, or when someone is saying something negative to you, not to reply. Because over the time when they do, they are doing it to try to, invoke some type of response for you to bring you down to their level. So it's best not to say or get in the habit to not saying anything negative or anything of that nature through texting. So we went through that, and he kind of got the idea. He understood. So what is it was something else that we talked? Oh, we talked about serenading. That John does to serenade someone, and I said, "You know what serenade means?" I forgot what he said. But the point of the matter is serenading is when you want to convey a message to someone through song. And most of the time when you serenade someone, it's usually a man serenading a woman or whatever like this. I gave him, what song I use? I, I, I'm so in love with you. So it's like you want to send a message to a certain young lady. You want to serenade her, one of those type of things. But anyway, so the point of the matter is that I kind of miss those days when they come home and we go through their um, the lesson. With Michael Chris, of course, his lesson was mostly on English, and he comes home and he brings his notebook and he has these lists of the results from about 10 questions and check mark, X mark, check mark, X mark. And but this time, he has have taken the time to write down the questions. Because it used to be, he would say, "I got this one right, this one right, this one wrong." I said, "Well, what was it?" I forgot. So I said, "No, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable." I said, and then I would say, "Tell me two questions that were on the test." "Oh, I can't remember." I said, "That's unacceptable." So I got him in the habit of writing down the questions now and writing down the answers and then writing down his selections. So it's like a sentence might be Sally goes to church blank blank, and it could be Sally goes to church on vacation. One of the answers could be Sally goes to church on holidays was one of the answers. Sally goes to church, which is on Sunday, which is one of the answers. So he had to pick the right word to go into that blank, and the answer was Sally goes to church every Sunday. So it's easier to help him understand the question if I have the question that he's answering. So he's gotten a lot better at that. I'm very proud of him of that. That he's doing that. But I forgot Raphael showed me some math, and math. Wow. I forgot what it's called, but I couldn't even pronounce the type of math he's doing now. So I said, well, leave that alone. So one of those things. But anyway, so what I want to talk to you about is that introducing someone to a Filipino girl. I always felt in my heart of hearts that I do not want to introduce, a guy to a girl or a girl to a guy, because I really can't vouch for what type of person they are, and I will feel horribly wrong if I introduce the two of them and it goes tragically wrong. So it's just a lot easier to just let people find and make their own mistakes. But here in the Philippines, a lot of the time, you might meet a girl through a friend or what have you, and that's fine. That's okay. But as far as me introducing, like I've had some Filipino girls that Gerard, can you introduce me to one of your friends? And I said, no, you know. And I've had foreigners ask me, Gerard, can you introduce me to a Filipino? No, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not what I do. I said, you know, you virtually asked me to pimp. You know, pimp pay me. You know, type of thing. But no, no, I don't do that. I say this to say that, you know, I have a friend in the U.S. Uh, he was a very successful businessman. You know, um, he owned a bike shop, you know, in Huntington, New York. You know, and what killed his business was Amazon. You know, how they can order things from somewhere else like this. You know, so he was just stuck with virtually bike repairs now because no one was buying the type of high end bikes that he had because you can go online and find it cheaper. You know, one of those types of things. So it really hurt his business. So he ought to, and I never, you know, he was a friend of my daughter's. You know, they were together for a while. Um, um, I know he wanted to love her, but my daughter, who had her own problems, and we're not going to go into much detail about that. You know, she was fighting her own battles within herself. So it's really hard for her to be still to love somebody else unless it was something truly what she wanted from them. And so, but he was always there for her. Win, place, or show, he was always there for her. Regardless of what she brought on him, you know, he would always open arms and receive receive her. So he sold his business and moved to Florida and whatever. So you know he's an avid hockey fan. He loves the Penguins. I think that's what they call it. Even got me watching. You know, one of those type of things. And the funny thing is that because I know he's never had a girlfriend, often the time because he is virtually concerned probably about you know um, how he looks. You know, uh, um, I know he was married and he had a wonderful relationship with his wife, a wonderful relationship, but she passed away. You know, so in my mind, he's a very lonely guy. You know, he's someone who I know that you know he needs some Filipinas in his life. I guess the virtually point blank say it. So going against myself, I have a Filipino girlfriend who I knew when I was in Cebu. Very nice girl, you know. And every now and then, in fact, I promised her when I don't make promises, I made a commitment to her to give her one of Helen's puppies. Her and Chrissy, which is Ellen Bayou's daughter, I told them I would give them one of Helen's pussy, not pussy, puppies. Wow, that's a bold incident. So she she called me and whatever like this, and I would see her, you know, and uh, so immediately a light bulb went off in my head. But this girl is very nice. I mean, very nice girl, you know. And I asked her. I said, you know, I have a friend. You know, can you know, if I send his information, you know, would you talk to him? And I told her he's like 60. He's like 60 years old. Of course, she said she wanted an older foreigner. You know, a lot of Filipinos don't want, you know, young dudes. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sure a lot of them are happy to have them once they have them, but I'm sure, however long it works out, is more power to them. But a lot of Filipino girls want somebody sincere, and the best sincerity that you can get from an older fella, you know, is from an older fella. You know, and so I told her that I would send her his information. So of course now Gerard, you know, when you gonna send me his information, I said, wow. I said, you know, pump your brakes, girlfriend, pump your brakes. You know, so I did send her his Facebook and send her his Facebook. And so, you know, he contacted me this morning and said, you know, well, what am I going to do? I'm here. I said, just talk to her. Because he had mentioned to me once before that he was willing to probably come to the Philippines for a visit. And that's what made me think about, you know, connecting the two of them together. So I sent her a picture of him. In fact, boom, this is a picture of him, and boom, here's a picture of her. You know, I have to be fair. You know, and um, you know, I really think, and I explained to my friend, is that it's about companionship. You know, hey, don't think that you have to be some type of stud or something like that. I mean, a Filipino wants security. A Filipino wants loyalty. A Filipino wants love. A Filipino wants to be loved. A Filipino wants someone that she can call her own. You know, and that's something that I hope happens for the two of them.
You are my wife. Goodbye, city life.
All right. So with that being said, this is Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect elders, pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge of life is to live good. I'm living good today. I hope you are too. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, formerly singing the Temptation one song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king and never say no. And yay! I'm back to school now. Talk to you later. Mwah. Peace.